First week of school is in the books, and we begin week number 2 for the Putnam County school system. This is also the second episode of the PCSS Connection Podcast. Hello, everyone. I'm Buddy Pearson, the Communications and Marketing Supervisor. And with us today, our first guest. Now, coming up, we got Jackie Vester. Coming up, we're going to be talking about electric buses. But to start off, we got the man, the myth, the legend, the one and only JoJo Matheney. We pulled him over from White Plains. He's so gracious to come over and talk with us today. JoJo, how you doing today?
Brother, I appreciate you having us over to talk about White Plains. I'm doing well, thank you.
So you're the principal of White Plains Academy.
Yes, sir.
How long have you been the principal there?
This starts my 16th year at White Plains Academy.
Really?
My 39th year in education and 36 overall in Putnam County.
Wow, 39. Where did you start out?
Meigs County, I was there for 3 years. Came to Monterey for 2. Went to Cookville High School, I was there for 11. And started my administrative career there, actually, when the new Cookville High School opened.
Yeah.
And then I was at Monterey for 7 years and at White Plains for starting my 16th year.
Wow. Now, White Plains Academy.
Yes, sir.
You hear White Plains Academy and you think, oh, man, that's where they send all the troubled students. That's where, and you're the man who can deal with those things. But tell us a little bit about what White Plains Academy is all about, because it's a lot more than just where some of the behavioral issues go.
We're located at 288 East Main Street, Allgood.
Yeah. It's
the old Allgood High School. There's 6 programs that are standalone programs in that building.
Oh, really?
Yes, sir. We have, and one side we have a homebound program where that's you've heard of homebound services. Well, these students are in the homebound program, but they come to campus. Miss Jennifer Duke, she's the teacher there. Then we have the Flex program. Mr. Shannon Pirtle, he's the principal there. We have an ELA, or GLC, Global Learning Center. That's where English language learners come. Miss Ellie Hill, she's the teacher there. We have a Vital program, our friend Sam Brooks. Yeah. We always have to have a Sam Brooks tale.
Yeah.
He's there in the basement of our school. We have a 17 and up program. That program is for 17-year-olds who are in the school system of Putnam County, but they are woefully behind in credits, so they come there. Mr. David Wallace, the teacher, and they are working constantly on regaining and capturing credits. So hopefully by the end of the year, they will be able to have graduated. They're 17, but they're behind in credits. It could be juniors or seniors mostly. And then you have White Plains proper. That's the building that I'm primarily over, the 17 up program, but White Plains Academy is what I deal with. And people heard of Dry Valley Alternative School, and their conception is where all the bad kids go.
Right.
Once their students get there, most of them have made a bad mistake. Maybe not bad kids, just they made a mistake and got caught up into something. Some of them are sent there for behavior. Some for academic reasons. They just fallen through the cracks at their home school, and they send those students to our place, and we can give them some credit advancement if the student is willing to work.
So what's the age group that you're the principal of at White Plains Academy?
My group is K through 12.
Okay.
K through 12. In the last couple of years, we've had at least one student enrolled in each grade level except for the second.
Wow.
For the past 2 years. But we've had kindergartners through high schoolers.
Is that right?
Yes, sir.
And what does it take from a behavioral perspective to be able to go to White Plains, to be sent to White Plains Academy?
It's not an open enrollment, if you will. A student at their home school, for whatever reasons, had difficulties, behavior, learning, and a lot of times they have learning issues. It manifests itself into a behavior issue. Maybe they've appeared before the principal several times and they can't get the help, so they send them there. What makes us effective is we're small. We have, I won't say 1-to-1 ratio, but we have like one teacher to 7 to 10 students.
Okay.
In some of those classes, they'll have a teacher assistant. So we can individually work with the student a lot more than a class that has 35.
Yeah.
And that's why we're successful.
So walk me through the process. Say you've got a student that's had some bad behavior, say at like a Prescott or somewhere like that, and then they recommended to go to White Plains. Then they come to you. Then what happens?
Well, if they're recommended, a principal will recommend them to Mr. Pierce. He's our truancy officer, attendance supervisor. They will have a disciplinary hearing. Mr. Pierce and that board will decide Does their behavior warrant them coming to White Plains? And if it does, Mr. Pierce will send them there. Our counselor, Margaret Copeland, will contact the sending school, get that student's records, and then we have the same curriculum, same school schedule for the most part. Now, obviously, we can't do the vocational classes like the other 3 high schools can, but other than that, we can. We do have a STEM program and a construction technology program that we can offer, but its process starts with the principal, the homeschool, send them to Mr. Pierce.
So when they come to you, what's kind of your how do you handle them? How do you deal with them? What do you do as a principal and just to help them?
Our school is built upon forming relationships.
Okay.
The social emotional part of it. Some of our students, most of our students are there. They have suffered some type of traumatic experience. Once we delve into their background, it's called ACEs, Adverse Childhood Experiences. And once we find out the ACEs, what's caused that student to be there, we try to form that relationship. And they're looking for some consistency. They're looking for a teacher, for me to draw the line in the sand and stand behind that.
Sure.
And once they find the boundaries and realizing that we're going to be the same today, tomorrow, and they come around and they generally start trusting us and start working.
And I'm sure that there's got to be some success stories that once they come there, it's not all bad stuff. They don't all drop out. They don't all go a separate way. There's got to be some success stories there.
Not all students very students going to wind up in the police report, on mug shots, what have you. My second or third year there, we had a student that we had a coming to Jesus meeting. He finally decided he would do what he's supposed to do. Made a 26 on his ACT.
Wow.
Went to UTC. He graduated in business, and that was 2 years ago. He owns a business and runs it himself there in Chattanooga.
Really?
We have other students that go on. Last year we had two students is already enrolled in the cosmetology school, another in Nashville Tech or Nashville State. So we do have students that go on. We have several students that go on and just work in the workforce. We've had students that go on major in HVAC, and they have come and worked on personally my own air conditioner units, swimming pools. So they are successful.
Yeah.
White Plains is not a dead end.
Yeah.
It's just a road bump in their way. And if they'll come in and do what we ask them to do, they can go back to their home school. They can go to college. They're college ready. I'll be honest with you, we're NCAA certified.
Okay.
We had a student there come to us in the 9th grade. He went back to his home school, was a good athlete, received a scholarship.
Oh, wow.
And he's now performing at a local college.
That's awesome.
So we have more successes than we do failures.
Yeah. 17 years at White Plains.
16.
16 years
Yes,
at
sir.
White Plains. What are, I guess, kind of what's some of the behavioral problems? Have you seen behavioral problems getting worse over the years? Kind of what is it that keeps kids coming over there?
COVID has really set us back. A lot of students have gotten used to being at home, working at home, and Putnam County did a great job of getting back into school as quick as possible. But a lot of students got used to that, staying at home. Biggest problem right now, it starts with these things right here. That's all they want to do, text. They want to be on these, sit down and have a face-to-face conversation. That has set some students back quite often, or quite a bit. And again, it's technology, COVID. It's just a combination of things. But Mr. King and his people up here at the central office had a great return to school plan, but we're still suffering from that side effects of that.
It's got to be tough to be the principal of a school where you get the behavioral cases. What is it that keeps you motivated, that keeps you going to school every day and trying to be a light or keeps it positive?
I am blessed that the group of people I have that work with me and I get to work with want to be at White Plains. They've not messed up. They've not gotten in trouble. From our nurse, SRO, everyone in that building know what they're getting into when they sign up for it, but they want to be there. The common denominator is we all pull for the underdog.
Yeah.
And these students come to us, horrific home life, some of them. To the underdog, we want to help. Sometimes we have to,
Give some
with
tough
the
love.
student. Yes, tough love, we do that. We're old school.
Yeah.
We believe in that old school discipline and love.
I wouldn't expect anything else.
I found those that I have done this with,
Yeah.
they come back and see me quite often.
Yeah.
And
They appreciate it.
yes, they do. But we want to be there.
Mm-hmm.
And we won't give up on a kid. If they'll just give us that much effort, we'll give them this much.
Yeah.
And that's the way we build that momentum.
Sure.
They realize that they can depend on us, they can trust on us. They know what we're telling them. It's the old saying in athletics is, if they'll drink the Kool-Aid,
Yeah.
they'll be successful.
Now, when JoJo Matheney's not the principal at White Plains Academy, what are you doing? What do you do when you're not being the principal?
Well, you know what one of my sidelights is?
You like a little football. You like to broadcast a little football.
A little Upper Cumberland reporter.
Yeah.
Mr. Justin Matheney, my son,
Yeah.
has conned us both into doing that, calling
Yes.
football games on UCR on Friday night. Really enjoyed that. That keeps me close to football.
Yeah.
That's been a passion of mine since I was little. I do that. I like to play golf. I'm not good at it. PGA is not called on me. But the thing I love the most, love doing, is playing with my 3-year-old granddaughter, Macy Ray, and I'm getting a second daughter and our granddaughter in December.
Is that right?
Yeah, Jared and his wife are having their first, and so excited about that. But those grandbabies, they're awesome.
They're special, aren't they?
Oh, they're very special. I have a standing date with Macy Ray. We'll either go to the Pelican Snowball or the Lazy Cow, and then this week we went to the library. She wouldn't go there. So, yeah, we can talk all day about my grandbabies.
Yeah. Wouldn't everybody like to have JoJo Matheney as their grandpa? I mean, wouldn't that be awesome? 39 years in education. Why stay in education as long as you have?
I told you like the underdogs.
Mm-hmm.
It's the victories.
Yeah.
When you see a kid come in and they're crying and they're fussing and they don't want to be there, and that's where all the bad kids go. Mm-hmm. And then when May turns around and I tell them, you've earned your way back to homeschool, and they're crying and fussing and not wanting to go, or you see them graduate. We graduated 60 students last year between White Plains and 17 up.
Really?
That we sent back to the graduation and walked the line. We sent over 40 students back to their home school. That's a win. Yeah. And you see those kids succeeding and getting credits, and the teachers working hard. I have one teacher, she'll get down on her knees just to work with the student. She is that into teaching. So, and most of the teachers are like that. So it's those wins right there. And then you see them come up, and if I go back to Cooper High School, the other schools, and they'll come up and they'll talk to me, or you see them out in town, they make a beeline to you and talk with you.
Yeah.
And
special.
It's special. And those victories can't put a price on that.
Yeah.
I've been there the last 16 years, the hardest job I've ever loved. Mm-hmm. And it's hard. It's sad. I tell the teachers when they interview with me, if you're going to work here, you're going to get hurt. And I'm not talking about the physical pain.
Sure.
Your heart's going to get hurt. And we've had some heartbreaks through the years.
Yeah.
But it's the wins. Yeah. It's the victories.
JoJo Matheney, the principal at White Plains Academy, been in the Putnam County school system 36 years, 16 years at White Plains Academy, 39 years in education. Man, thank you so much for, and I know I've seen you do this. I've seen you kind of take some young teachers and young coaches under your wing and help them and mentor them. And that's got to be special too, not only for them, but for you to be able to do that as well.
There's no secrets in football, X's and O's. It's about the Johnnies and the Joes.
Right.
I want to, with the young teachers, I want to help them. If they want to become an administrator, I want to try to guide them in the direction they need to go. It's all about helping people, because eventually I'm going to go home. Yeah. And I want to see White Plains succeed, and I want it to achieve higher levels than what we've done there. We have a good superintendent that supports us, a school board that supports us. We can't say that about all communities in this state. Right. Alternative schools are frowned upon. They're not liked, but fortunately, our people in this county, our leadership, they support us and support what we do.
JoJo Matheney with us on the PCSS Connection Podcast. Thanks so much, man.
Brother, appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you. So this is the maiden voyage of the first electric bus. Just tell us a little bit about kind of what's going on today.
We are actually, first of all, it's an exciting day for Putnam County School Transportation. We are taking the teachers from Baxter Primary out in the Baxter area, and to kind of see a little bit about where some of their students live, and just kind of doing special projects as far as a scavenger hunt, that type of thing. But we thought this would be a great time to introduce our new electric bus. We have been highly anticipating this for over a year now, and finally this day has come, and we're just really excited about it.
So to have an electric bus at Putnam County Schools, this is, I understand, the first one. How did this come about?
Well, actually, there was a grant through the EPA, the federal government, that we could apply for, and Ashley Skurlock with International Bus, who is our bus manufacturer rep, she has done a lot of the legwork with helping us write the grant and apply for the grant. And so we were found out on October the 26th that we had been awarded the grant, one of 13 counties in the state of Tennessee. So we were really excited about that. We actually got 2 buses with also the chargers included, and we did find out that Putnam County here in Tennessee was the first to receive their buses, first in the country. So it's really an exciting time for us to be able to see how they perform, and for us to be able to experiment with, to see, we don't know what's in the future, so it's just going to give us a good time.
You get the pleasure of driving the first electric bus in Putnam County on its maiden voyage. How's it driving so far?
It drives great. It's very quiet. It's difficult to get used to a little bit, just because the throttle brakes the stops just like a golf cart does. So it's very unique, and we're excited to have it.
You really see this being a benefit for the busing situation here in Putnam County?
Oh, I think it'll benefit us greatly here in Putnam County. I really do. We're blessed to have the opportunity and to be one of the first ones to have this grant given to us, and we're proud to have it.
Yeah. Do you see yourself getting used to driving an electric bus? Is it a little bit easier than the other buses?
They, from all indications, what we're told, once the drivers start driving these, they don't want to be put out of them. So I think that it's very quiet, it's cool, and it'll greatly reduce the noise on the bus with all the students. So we're just glad to have it.
Welcome back to the PCSS Connection Podcast. I'm your host, Buddy Pearson, the Communications and Marketing Supervisor. Our next guest is the Career and Technical Education Supervisor, Miss Jackie Vester. Jackie, thanks for being with us.
Thanks for having me. I'm excited.
So what exactly is the Career and Technical Education Supervisor?
So a lot of people would say that I spend the money, because they see all that nice new CTE equipment going into the classrooms. But, really I'm there to determine what career and technical education courses make sense for our county, what matches industry need and what matches student interest. And then we put that into play.
Well, let's talk a little bit about the career and technical education. Kind of define what that is.
So career and technical education is going to help students build those industry-specific careers, but at the same time helping them with those durable or soft skills, being able to complete a resume, make a phone call, the things that we often hear industry partners say students aren't as prepared.
Yeah. Give us some examples of maybe some of the careers and things that come out of that.
So we have 16 career clusters. So we're looking at health sciences, we're looking at STEM, we're looking at ag, mechatronics, welding. So our students have a plethora of options. Broadcasting, of course.
Yeah.
Yes. Coaching, yes. Teaching and coaching is a profession, because we all know we need teachers.
Yes.
So
where was this when I was in school? That's what I'm saying.
I know. I would have loved that.
How long has this been around? Seriously.
So, I was in CTE back when I was in school, but previous to that, it was vocational education.
I got you.
So vocational education just morphed into career and technical education because we realized people build careers off of these skills.
Yeah. Now, how did you get into this particular role and in, kind of this avenue of education?
So actually, I have an ag degree.
Okay.
And so when I was interviewing for a job in Putnam County, I was an econ teacher before that. And it was Wayne Shanks at the time. And he was like, "You can teach ag." And I was like, "I can." And so I taught ag at Cookville High School for 9 years.
Oh, wow.
And then I had the opportunity to be early post-secondary opportunity specialist with Vital. And then when Dr. Eldridge went back to Cumberland County, Corby called me into his office and said, "Hey, we would like for you to be CTE supervisor." And he gave me like a whole 12 hours to think about it.
Yeah, of course.
And I said yes. And so here I am.
And you were interim and now you are the supervisor.
Yes, that's correct.
So that always feels good.
It does. It does. It's good to get that interim title off and know, that helps everybody know, okay, this is the direction we're going. Let's rock and roll.
Well, let's back it up even further then. You were the ag teacher. So what was your background to even be able to be an ag teacher?
So a lot of that comes from ag degree and being part of FFA and ag classes when I was in high school at Cookville High School.
Did you grow up on a farm?
No, I didn't. My grandparents had a farm.
Okay.
And so, most of our students these days are at least 3 generations removed from the farm.
True.
And so it's important for us to educate students where their food comes from, why this is important. And a lot of times with ag, businesses that you wouldn't even think, it's not all production agriculture that falls under that umbrella. We have a lot of supply and veterinarians, all of those service industry. We have a lot of that's needed as well under that ag umbrella.
So what's the status of ag in Putnam County schools?
So agriculture is growing in Putnam County schools.
Okay.
We now have 2 ag teachers at every one of our high schools.
Oh, wow.
So that's really exciting. All 3 FFA programs are extremely strong, extremely competitive. We have support from our community for these programs. And one of the main reasons is our students that come out of CTSOs such as FFA, they can speak well. They can conduct themselves around adults. They know how to handle themselves, and that's what industry is looking for.
Now, I know you are really active with businesses in Putnam County, in Cookville, to kind of share in, the students and those kind of things, internships. Tell us a little bit about those things.
So we have a program, work-based learning.
Yeah.
Probably some
That's
of
what
our,
I was trying to say,
yes,
work-based learning.
Work-based learning, I'm sure
Yeah.
many of our viewers have heard about it, and kids are dying to be part of it because it does have the bonus of you get to leave school to go to work, and our students love that.
Mm-hmm.
They love the opportunity, to go out and experience. They're ready to be adults, and they want to go out and experience. What they don't realize is they're building a lot of skills. They're building a resume.
Yeah.
And anything you can
Connections.
put on there. Yes. Networking and being able to say, oh, I've done this. I've worked in customer service. And we're working in the direction we would love all of our students to be able to be with businesses that align with that career cluster. So we would love our mechatronics students to be in working, with robotics. But if that doesn't work out, we still help them find, maybe your traditional teenager job, retail or fast food. But that helps them build those skills.
For sure.
Mm-hmm.
Did you do that when you were in high school?
So we didn't have that opportunity. We had what we call co-op back
yeah.
there. Yes, yes.
It was like DECA or something like that when I was,
Yes.
a long time ago when I was in school.
Yes. So now it's, more official program. They get course credit for it. They they do a little bit of seat work. So we're doing that online, resumes and safety, and make sure that they get those pieces as well. So it's a little bit more structured than it was back in the day.
Well, so when Jackie Vester is not the supervisor of CTE, what are you doing?
Well, I wish all the time that I was at Disney World because that is my most favorite thing to do. And anyone that knows me knows that's where I want to be at all times.
That's where you thrive.
That's where I thrive. That's where I do my best thinking. But if I'm not at Disney World and I'm not at work, I'm probably either watching my child play basketball or watching my other child play soccer.
Okay.
So somewhere.
You're a sports mom.
I'm a sports mom, for sure.
That's awesome.
For sure.
Well, enjoy it while you can, because then they grow up and it's like all of a sudden you don't have any more sporting events to go to and you're like, what do you do?
I know. I don't know what I'll do with my life, honestly.
It's crazy.
I'll be bored.
All right, so if you had a favorite food, what's your comfort food? What's your go-to comfort food?
Oh, probably my go-to comfort food is more than just a food. It's Chick-fil-A. Like Chick-fil-A satisfies all the needs. If it's been a bad day, you can go to Chick-fil-A.
Good spicy biscuit.
Yes.
Yeah, for sure.
If it's been a good day, you can celebrate at Chick-fil-A. I mean, it's just...
I just found out they had a spicy chicken biscuit. I thought all they had for breakfast were the chicken minis, and I did not realize they had such a good spicy chicken biscuit.
They do, but it's hard to break away from the chicken minis.
It is. It really
the chicken minis are...
Yeah.
A+.
Type of music you listen to? What do you jam to in the car?
So I mean, I love all types of music, but a lot of people don't know about me that I do love rap music.
Really?
Yes. I love rap music. That's what I'm jamming to in the car.
Really?
Yes. Like 99% of the time. I know.
Old school, new stuff.
A lot of old school.
Okay.
A lot of 90s, early 2000s.
LL Cool J.
Yes. Snoop Dogg,
Snoop
Dr.
Dogg.
Dre.
Yeah, gotcha.
Yes.
Yeah.
I know. It doesn't
This
fit what
generation
you would
doesn't
think.
really understand that.
They don't. They
Cool
don't.
Mo D, Sir Mix-a-Lot. I mean, all the good stuff.
Those are classics.
Yeah.
What they're listening to now is not really the same as that rap.
Doesn't hold a candle.
It doesn't.
It doesn't.
I mean, I like lots of other things, but that probably what people don't know about me is that if I'm in my car jamming, it's rap.
So getting back to CTE, had a chance when I got recently hired, to go to the CTE banquet.
Yes.
And to see all the students celebrate with their advisor, their achievements, and kind of just what that looks like. And that's got to be so rewarding for you.
It's a fantastic event. It's a great way to bring students, parents, teachers, industry,
business people,
all together in one space.
Yeah.
And so Putnam County had started it last year. Dr. Eldridge and the Highland Economic Partnership, they worked together to start it, and we wanted to continue it on this year. And one of the things that I thought about was it was great that we had industry coming in and seeing our students get recognized, but we did that slideshow this year so that they could see some snippets of what the students were doing in the classroom.
Yeah, it's super impressive.
Yeah, so many of them were
impressive.
like, we did not even realize you had this in the schools.
Yeah.
And that's what we're trying to do. We want everyone to know what we've got going on in our schools.
And I think you really found out, like Upperman with their broadcasting program being one of the top in the nation. And it was like, first of all, who knew they had a broadcasting program? And then secondly, that they were one of the tops in the nation. And then you see some of the students and how they were interacting and what they were creating. It's like, wow, this is impressive.
Yes, and it's
very impressive.
Oftentimes we underestimate what our students are capable of doing.
Yeah.
And then when you see it, it's like, wow, these kiddos are going to be successful. They are going to hit the ground running.
Well, anything else you can add about CTE, or what are you looking really forward to? The school year is just beginning, and I know everybody's kind of just settling in, but what are you really looking forward to this school year?
I think I'm looking forward to a lot of the growth and a lot of the new programs that we put into our schools and seeing where they go. Thinking about Upperman, we've expanded our teaching and coaching as a profession.
Yeah.
We've added in a business career cluster, which is really exciting. We haven't had business in Upperman in a long time. At Monterey, we've added the second ag teacher. So, we hope to see that ag program flourish. And then across the county, we're now going to do medical assisting instead of CNA for our health science students. So they're really looking forward to that opportunity because now they can get that certification and go work in a doctor's office. Yeah. And that's what they want to do.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So I'm excited.
Jackie Vester, the Supervisor for Career and Technical Education here in the Putnam County School System. Thank you so much for joining us on the PCS Connection Podcast.
Thanks for having me. I enjoyed it.
All right, that's going to wrap it up for this week. I'm Buddy Pearson. God bless, and we'll see you next week.